guys, I have to talk to you about a couple things. I'm on my way back from Whole Foods. I feel like shit today. I feel very terrible. Yesterday was a better day for me for some reason. The sun was out and I think I got better sleep. So I'm starting to really realize how important sleep is. And then diet. I haven't really eaten much today because I haven't shopped in a while and my wife's been working a lot. So, she'll bring home food from work, and I'll just kind of snack on whatever I have until late at night. And I know how important food and nutrition is in healing. So, but anyway, I had some realizations that I wanted to talk about. See, maybe you guys can relate or something like that. I actually shot part of this video earlier and it got deleted, so that sucks. I had to redo this. It's very cloudy out today. I hate that. I really hate that. So when I was a kid, just talking this out last night, I was thinking I never liked to be in school. I always wanted to be away. I always wanted to go, and I looked at the tree lines. I always counted the minutes to get out of class. It might be normal, but I also skipped every pep rally that I could. I never wanted to be in pep rallies. I never wanted to go to football games. I played sports, soccer and cross country, but not because I wanted to. I did a lot of things because I knew that you were supposed to, and also to try to get into college. My number one focus was always working, making money, and getting the hell out of my situation, because it wasn't the greatest situation. So I became a very determined person, and and drinking at 13 was the only time I ever really felt like I could be social without feeling uncomfortable. Even though I worked a lot of jobs and things, but like high stress jobs I did well in, like cooking. I'd be go, you got all these tickets across the line, all that kind of stuff. So I was always very go. And then sitting down in class, it was just a nightmare. And a lot of my symptoms, they cross many diagnoses, and it's always like, well, I feel like I'm bipolar, but it can't be because of this. I feel like I definitely have ADHD, but maybe not because of this. I did well in school. It was a struggle in a way, but in a way it wasn't. I didn't study. I barely studied ever, even through college, and somehow maintained, A's, A's and B's. So that was good. And then, but I never wanted to be there. I always felt uncomfortable. Always felt trapped. Always felt the sense of being trapped, and I didn't like to not have control of my own situation. Like, I felt like I should be able to go, if I want to get up and leave, I should be able to get up and leave. I shouldn't have to ask permission to use the bathroom. So I always felt that. It was really strong. And then in college, the same way. I never went to class because you don't really have to go to class in college, so I just didn't go. And I never went to football games. We had like one of the best teams in the state, or in the country, actually, national champs, James Madison University. And I never wanted to go to pep rally, football games and all that stuff. I didn't like to drink during the day. I never did that. And I didn't like to, I just like to party on Friday, Saturday nights, work hard during the week, party, on the weekend makes it worth it. I always had anxiety, but I pushed through it. It was pretty bad, to get up in front of groups, and part of my jobs that I had to do that, and that's typical. A lot of people have that. It's okay. But I would be going to do a presentation that was a third of my grade, and literally, halfway to the class, and turn around and walk out and take a damn 0. Sometimes it was that bad. But I never really pinpointed that as a problem, I guess, because, it just slowly was getting worse. I also got really attached very quickly to a lot of girls that I had crushes on, things like that, and it's hard for me to be friends. If we broke up, I had to just kind of cut it off because I just can't deal with that. And then, so I I always moved. We moved so many times. I've lived in about 20 different places, over my life. We used to move sometimes multiple times a year, and then in college I moved every year. I kind of liked it. I think I got sick of, I like change. I got sick of the same stuff. But and then I've got this really cool green juice here. Boom. Daily Greens. Need some of that shit. Faux show. Faux show. I'm about to get lost. Hold on. Stay low. Okay. Look down at my navigation. So, yeah, I never wanted to be in such situations. I guess I always found a way to avoid it. It was just never appealing to me at all. So, and everybody wanted me to go, and they'd ask me to go, and this and that, and I just, that was just me. That was my personality, and I was very shy. I dated this girl through high school, and she was very attached to her. She was older, and when I went to college, she was very controlling, very worried that I was cheating, which is crazy because I didn't even go to parties, even though I was at one of the biggest party schools in the damn country. And it used to be an all-girls school, so there was a lot of attractive women. It was like 4 to 1 women to guys. So, but I didn't. I stayed, and when originally I was washing dishes, I just sat in the back. People thought it was weird. I just didn't talk to anybody. And then on my break, I'd go sit alone at a table. A lot of that was because I didn't want to upset my my girlfriend at the time, and I struggled through that. And she would often break up with me as sort of a way to keep me, keep control. And she was in control of me. It's such a huge way that I didn't live. I wasn't living my life, and I was scared of everything I did. Actually, it's funny. It's not really that funny, but every single weekend I went home. I drove 3.5 hours to go home every weekend to see her. And I had a job at home, and I had a job, in college. So I was working 7 days a week. I had 2 apartments I was paying for. And one weekend I didn't make it home, or back to my hometown, and I was sitting there in my room because my roommates were having people over, and I was so scared. I was like, I'm not allowed to be out here. My girlfriend's gonna find out. And I walk out to go smoke a cigarette, and there's these girls that are topless, like playing beer pong. They're playing strip beer pong, and then there's just there's some boobies hanging out there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't do that while driving, but so I was like covering my eyes. I was like a freaking freak, right? So I tried to tunnel vision, go out to the balcony, smoke my cigarette, come back in, and I was terrified that she was gonna find out. Ultimately, it was terrible. Like, she broke up with me, like I said, all the time, and eventually it wore me down to a point where I just could not deal with it anymore. And the final time when she broke up with me, when I broke down on the highway coming to see her, I was broke down. Instead of being worried about me, she was pissed and thought I was lying. And I was like, look, it's over, man. It's over. And then after that, she became suicidal. She'd call me so she would kill herself if we didn't get back together. And her dad called me, and we've been together for like over 4 years. And he was like, look, you need to be with my daughter. She's terrified. She's like having to go to the hospital. Like, it was bad. So I went back with her, and then she because that whole time in college, at that time 2 years, she didn't come to see me one time because she was in nursing school. So she was, I guess, really busy. And but then at that point, when we broke up, I started to see the light in other parties, and it was just over at that point. And I was only with her because I was scared to hurt her. but I didn't want a relationship. And as fate would have it, I was at this other job. I was coming home one night and I stopped to get gas. It was on a winter break, and these two young girls were like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? You want to hang out?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, hell yeah." So they came over to my apartment, and then one of the girls was pretty cute, and then one of them wasn't so cute, and then there was one that was cute, and then it was me and my brother. And usually my brother got the girls, right? But I turned my charm up. I could be very charming, especially when I had a few beers in me. Very charming guy. So I was able to get the cute one, and we made out, and she gave me a hickey. And then the next day, Christy calls me saying she's on her way to see me for the first time in 2 years. I was like, holy shit. So I had to, you know what I had to do? I took a knife. How dumb is this? I took a knife and cut through the hickey a little bit to make it look like I cut myself shaving. I told her I cut myself shaving. So dumb. I was so terrified. That girl was scary, bro. Scary shit. Okay. I thought she was gonna kill me. But when we were together that weekend, all I could think about was that Amber girl. Which I was only like, I was like 20 years old at the time. I found out years later that girl was only like 17. We didn't do anything but kiss, but that was really weird. I mean, I didn't know. I guess she was like a high school chick that lived near the college. It's crazy. Crazy. But I don't know how I got on that topic. But yeah, so I dealt with that, and then after that, I started going out, and I drank, and I was the life of the party. I go from the kid that couldn't talk to anybody to the life of the party when I was drinking. So drinking was a huge benefit to me. But so anyway, so all that stuff, I think these are clues helping me figure out that I think I had an underlying ADHD or something going on as a kid. I was pretty wild. I was the one that always got spanked. Sometimes a little bit too. I think my mom took it a little bit too far. Breaking wooden spoons over my ass and stuff. I was the only one of 4 kids that got spanked. I always talked back. I always had my own opinion about things. I didn't care. I was pretty wild. I would jump off of roofs, jump off of shit, just anything for attention. Yeah. And then, obviously there were some abuse issues and stuff embedded in there as well, like with guys my mom dated, a lot of verbal stuff. So, there was some trauma for sure, and, but, ultimately, I had something going on that, that has manifested now and gotten worse. So I do want to say that diet's huge. I've watched some seminars, I've read lots of books, and I was my most stable when I was on tianeptine, and because I was reading my journal while I was doing a Paleolithic diet. I was sleeping better, my mood was more stable, my depression was virtually non-existent. I still had this anxiety and sort of this like overstimulation being in stores. Like I would feel good until I got into a store, and then I would feel overwhelmed, very overwhelmed. So I'm working on this theory of low dopamine, and tianeptine raises dopamine, but not as much as some other things. But that's a very tricky scenario because I think I have very high serotonin and low dopamine. Some of that's based off of organic acid testing, and then the symptoms that I have. A lot of people have high serotonin, and that's actually why they can become manic when taking SSRIs, or have really, really bad side effects when taking an antidepressant. because they have too much serotonin, and it's a myth that low serotonin is really the cause of depression. And this is not just my opinion. Okay, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but this is just me reading, a lot of research from doctors and from current research, which I like to do. I'm pretty into that. But if you look at some of those reports, and if I had the energy, guys, I would put some damn links down below. But right now, I'd probably have like a really cool intro video with music coming in, because I have some awesome songs that you guys could relate to. I'd have all that shit set up. Maybe one day, cool intro videos, like icons popping at you 3D, and yeah. Sometimes I see people who are dealing with depression, and they make those videos, and I'm like, how can you do that? I mean, these are hard enough for me to make. So, a lot of depression could be low dopamine, and there's lots of ways to skin a cat. There's more than one way to skin a cat. It's funny because I have a friend in another country that was like, "What? It's horrible." I was like, "Yeah, it is very horrible. It's a horrible saying. I mean, who's skinning cats? Pretty creepy." But in any event, that's what I'm saying, that Paleolithic diet, even more prominent, keto diet, clinically proven effective for psychiatric conditions. It does really what mood stabilizers do in studies. A lot of people will come off their medications and go keto. I'm not telling you to do that, okay? So don't get that twisted. You talk to your doctor, do your research. I'm just saying that I've read a lot of people do that. It's something that I'm aspiring to do. I feel better the higher fat diet I have, the lower grain content. So I'm actually starting, not today, but tomorrow, to do the full paleo again. But it's a modified paleo. Like, I'm gonna be eating some dairy, not milk, but some like goat cheese, things like that I've tested that I don't have a reaction to. And keto is a high fat diet, which I'm gonna do a paleo keto diet while taking exogenous, I think, which are just outward ketones supplement, like a powder. I'm also going to be working on sleep. It's huge, man. Huge. You could take a normal person that, a 7, and deprive them of sleep, and they're going to be a 1. They're going to be crabby and angry and irritable and anxious, for the most part. And I'm staying up way too late at night. Way too late. And I have noticed that when I actually go to bed earlier, I sleep better, and I feel better the next day. So, anyway, this video was all over the place. I was going to shoot a whole different topic earlier. Damn it, this is not the way I wanted to go home. Oh my god, I just realized. This is not the way I wanted to go home. I'm stuck in traffic. I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and I freaking failed to look at my navigation. It's your fault. Yeah, man, it's been a long road. But, like, I've hovered at a 4 or 5 for a long time, so I know people that are a 2 and a 1 where they're just not there. I mean, it's bad. I've been a 5 for a long time, or a 4. Like, I can push myself to go to stores, but the fatigue is really high, and the anxiety sometimes is very high. And I think it's important for you guys to keep a journal, even though I try to, but I can't. Maybe that's ADHD. I just can't ever keep track of anything. I have a lot of creative ideas, and a lot of people think that they're creative and they have good ideas. And maybe they do, but I really do have some really, really good ideas. But so that's another thing. Everything I look at is like a puzzle. I'm always trying to figure something out. I could be washing the dishes and then look at the dishwasher and say, it would be so much better if they put that knob here, if they added this, they did this and this and that, and all of a sudden have this like invention idea for that. Or I'll be looking in the fridge and think, oh, they should do this and this and this. And I'll go crazy with these ideas. I get so excited and I have like a list of shit. But they're good ideas. But it's like, why am I always trying to do that? Why am I not just living in the present? Why am I not living in the now? Why am I always trying to fix things? Why am I always trying to problem solve? I always see, like, I kind of see patterns in things. Maybe I'm autistic. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I'm like high function. I don't know. I think I just a mixed bag of nuts, man. That's the way I can describe it. It's the best way I can describe it, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, it's been a tough road for all of us. So let's just keep on moving on. And I'm gonna have some updates on my paleo excursion that I'm doing. I'm going to be really trying to go paleo again for the 18,000th time. I went 13 days once and I was sleeping a lot better, but my stress was high because I really didn't, I was missing some of the stuff that I wanted to eat. I also need to rest big time. I was talking to my friend and she was like, what the hell? Because I walk 20 to 30 miles a day. I have been for the last couple of years. Because I don't like to sit still, I don't like to be home, I get really depressed, so I go to the park and I just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and talk on the phone to people. But sometimes it gets so bad that I just can't do it anymore. Like I can't talk to people because my anxiety's so high because I talk so much, which could be high serotonin as well. I know a lot of people who are anxious and stuff that don't like to talk, but I like to talk. Love to talk. Not a big texter, but lately I am because I think I'm just burned out. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to see anybody. But when you're burned out, and you're just really tired and kind of foggy, it makes you kind of cranky. And if you take the edge effect, I'm actually a high dopamine person, like naturally. Everybody has these natural sort of ways that they are engineered. And God has done that because, I've talked about this before, some people are leaders, some people are followers, some people are inventors, some people are, there's a place for everybody in their talents. And so that's why some people are dopamine dominant, and people like me who are dopamine dominant, which according to the edge effect I am, if they have low dopamine, it really, really hurts them because they're not able to, really act out the genetic disposition that they have inherited, which could be your case too. So that quiz by Dr. Braverman, I think, he has the book called The Edge Effect, and there's a quiz online you can take. And it helps identify like what your natural, and obviously there's ways to change and overcome genetical dispositions, but helps figure out who you are. So, alright, well, thanks for spending some time with me today. I appreciate it. And I really want to get your feedback on some of the stuff I talked about as me as a kid and my developmental challenges, and see what you guys think. I need a massage so bad. I used to get these massages as part of my insurance down in South Carolina, and oh my gosh, I always feel so good afterward, but I just don't have the energy to. I've set up a couple appointments, but I just haven't gone. Just like therapy, I need to go to therapy. I'm just so tired. I don't. It's such a hard thing to do. I got to get through this sort of burnout phase. get a little bit more energy before I can start to do that again. But on the flip side, the weathers were really great, and it's really making me want to run. Yesterday I went on a little run, and probably shouldn't have. It sucks so much. Okay, alright guys, well thank you so much. Please leave your comments, let me know what I have, what you think I have. I know you're not doctors, but some of you might have ADHD or whatever, and you say, holy cow, dude, that's like me, and I did this. I would love to hear your feedback about that. It could help other people, so please subscribe, leave your feedback. If you want to see my paleo journey and see how I'm doing, yeah, like follow along with me, and let's do this. Let's get better together, man. Let me hear your stories. All right, okay. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you later.